right. I had to wait till the kids left before I can get on here because they were all pouting in one room. I forget the hell I'm going to talk about. I just drew a blank. I know one thing, it's harder than shit outside. Went out today. Well, I got woke up because a girl I've been talking to showed up in my house. Her phone was acting up. So I had to help her. She come down on her break from work, freaking out because her phone was locked. So I had to help her with that. Then I waited for the kids to leave so I can get on here and do this. And I come on just a little bit more. What time is it anyways? About 4:30. I come on a little bit earlier because I figured about I was gonna wait till later on, but then I realized NXT's on later on, so I figured I'd just come on now. Shit stuck to me already, but yeah, I wanted to come on. I was last night when I got home. I thought about getting on, but then I was watching a movie on my phone, and by the time of course I fell asleep halfway through it like I usually do. So I figured I just said I'll just wait for today. I'm off tomorrow. I'll be doing one tomorrow, and probably one Monday. I'm not, like you said, I'm not for sure. I guess there's another day. I just can't remember what it is. Plus, I don't feel like getting up and looking at my schedule because I don't have it on me. But I've been watching a lot of the old like WCW and all them when they were still around. I watched one thing last night. If you get the chance to get on YouTube, it's called 101 Reasons Not to Become a Professional Wrestler. It's like China, DDP, Conan, Vampiro. Oh, the guy with the mask. I forget what his name is. He was on there. They had like New Jack. They were talking about like the politics in wrestling and stuff like that. There's a couple other people on there too. One guy, his last name's Turkey. He was in OVW. He was on there. Of course, a couple of them that were on there now. That were on there are not around anymore. Like China and Sean O'Hare. China, everybody knows what happened to her. Hers from a drug overdose, and he committed. Sean O'Hare committed suicide. Yeah, I was watching that. It was actually pretty good. It was like 2.5 hours long. There's one girl on there. She's blonde. And she was like one of the girls that they had. The NWO had. She wasn't really a big fan of Goldberg. I guess Goldberg didn't like her because he was afraid she was going to steal his spot. Okay. Goldberg's almost 285 pounds of muscle when bald. This one's like 5 foot something, long blonde hair. Yeah. She was pretty built. I'm not talking muscle wise, but Yeah, I can't remember her name now. Of course, like I said, I wrote everything down, and I was in a hurry to get. I come back here, and I just totally forgot everything. But yeah, it was pretty good last night. I liked watching it, and then I was like I said, I watched. I've been watching like documentaries on like the wrestlers. They were talking about that and the scene drying up, which I think now it's making a bigger comeback. Uh, they were talking about shitty promoters and you know, uh, I, it it was just nuts. Some of the stuff that they were talking about. And then I've been watching a lot. Like I said, I watched a lot of the Dark Side of the Ring. I watched the thing about Dynamite Kid. Um, I watched the one about Bret Hart. Of course, the one about Owen Hart. Um, I watched a lot. A lot of them are pretty good. I watched the one of New Jack. Uh, there's like been a lot of tribute videos people have been doing for him. I watched where he talked to where it's called. I think it's like called you shoot or something like that. Where he was on there with I can't remember the guy's name, but he was on there talking about what's in the bag. They pull out, I guess they pull out an item, and you get whatever item they pull out. You got it. First name comes to mind. The first one they pulled out, it was a bottle of Jack Daniels. New Jack said, Sandman. And they pulled, like a lot of these were just props. And they pulled one out that was supposed to be weed. And he said Rob Van Dam. And then they pulled out this prop and it looked like cocaine and he freaking snagged it up. He's like, oh shit. And if you watch it, you'll laugh. I watched one of him where he was just, he just, discusses about what's going on, like about the drug use and stuff like that. And I think that's what happened with a lot of them. They just, when you just hear some of the stuff that they did back then, you're surprised half of them can still move around or are still alive. But, there was a lot of drugs back then. And I think that's what his biggest thing was. I think that's what damaged his heart. Because I watched an interview where he was saying, that got him diving off balconies and on the tables and stuff like that. That actually, after a while, that does, being a wrestler, everybody thinks being a wrestler is just easy. They think, oh, it's staged. Well, it is predetermined, but them guys jumping off tables and, flying out of the ring and onto the person landing in the crowd. I mean, that does a number on your body. And then, like he was talking about, he never got into the drugs until he got to ECW, and it was just, I think that's what the biggest part of what his downfall was doing that. Because after so long, I mean, your heart can take so much, and like I said, a lot of people were talking about how sad it was that he passed away. Which when I found out, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. I was more shocked, because a couple weeks, I think a week and a half before he passed away, I was talking to him about the shirts that he had and stuff like that, and about his book and stuff. And it seemed like, and then he did a video the day after that. It seemed like he was doing all right, but like I said, you never know when your time comes. And, of course, drinking all the time, I know two people. Well, one I know, but the other one I know because his wife, I talk to his wife all the time. She comes through and she's always getting beer. 8 o'clock in the morning, she's getting beer for him. Well, he had a heart attack while he quit drinking for like 2 weeks and then started back up. But yeah, your body can only take so much abuse. And, like I said, it was sad that, I was upset because, I've known him for like 8 years. Met him a couple of times, got to talk to him. Like I said, a lot of them, they get up, like this documentary. If you get a chance to watch it, it's 101 reasons why not to become a professional wrestler. Like I said, DDP was on there. For life of me, I can't remember the guys. He was in a mess. He was in WCW. I think it was Psychosis or something like that. And then he was in ECW. I mean, a lot of these guys now are not going to go in the women. Once they were, like China said when she was live, she said she would never go back to WWE because, the way, she got the Raw and the deal on that one. So, but like DDP was talking about, he was in the AWA and all of them, and then like Florida Championship Wrestling, then when everything shut down, he went to WCW. They made him a manager, then a commentary. Then he, people didn't think he was going to make it. Look at him now. He was, I think, 3-time WCW champion, and he's, in the Hall of Fame. It was pretty interesting. Like I said, it's sad that, that happens. They're at the top at one time wrestling in front of 20,000 people. They're wrestling in front of 50 to 200 people. Then, like when they released Samoa Joe, which I wasn't kind of shocked when they brought him back, because I think William Regal's been there forever. I think he's just going to stay backstage. I think, he realized that his time was, up. If it was a storyline or what, but I mean, he's been around forever. I mean, he was there for NXT for day one. I was watching the thing last night, and I think, I can say his name, Samoa Joe will do a really good job. Which is general manager thing. I don't, I don't get it, but I mean, I guess it's just like a title they give people, and of course, unfortunately, when I did it, when I first started, I mean, I watched it on TV. But what I used to watch was Attitude Era and ECW. That was the only two things I watched. Occasionally, I watched Nitro, and I got to work at Thunder taping. But I remember going down. I was here in where I'm from, what was called the Marshall County Fairgrounds. It was called the Gary Dobbs Hall. It's like a little bingo parlor where they do auctions and stuff. And I wondered how I was going to the store, and I looked over and seen a poster. So I, saved up the money and sold a couple of DVDs so I can go down, because I had a shit ton of DVDs. So I went down, and that's where I met my buddy, Big Mike. And he had like 30 people at his show. And he had like Demolition. The first person I met was Demolition Axe. Or not, yeah, Axe. I didn't meet Smasher later on. And I told him, I said, if he needed help, I would help him advertise and put out posters. Well, I gave him my number. He never called. So I go back the second time, the next show. Told him, hunted him down and told him, said, hey, I'd like to help you get more people in, because, you have, back then when you got booked on a show, it was like $20. Now they're looking at $50 to $100, But I mean, that's so cheap. But as long as you get your money's worth when you book them. But so I started talking to him. I met up with him. We said that we went to Perkins up on National Road, and where I'm from. Where most people they watch us. Probably doesn't know where it's at. It's in Wheeling. We sat there, and I told whatever the ideas of that I thought, and he liked my ideas. He said, "Yeah." So you figured like 9 years later. I mean, he did it just for a hobby. A lot of people like to do it as a business, or just gives them something to do. But I helped him start advertising, stuff like that, and we put it in the paper. Did a radio spot, So and with like the first 2 months, he went from 30 people to 85 people. Then the second show that when I was actually helping him out, went from 85 to 150, and it just kept growing and growing. Um, I met a lot of wrestlers that come in. I met it's at Demolition Axe and Smash, very sophisticated Shark Boy, that guy when I want to make a wrestler. Brutus the Rubber Beefcake, like Lex Luger, Honky Tonk Man, all of them. But my two favorite wrestlers that I met when I was helping him do it, and I didn't ask him for a dime. I said when I first told him, I said I don't want paid. I just wanted to help him because but he always tried to pay me. But when I wouldn't take the pay, the cash when he tried to pay me, we always went somewhere out to eat or hang out after the shows. But the two that I liked to I enjoyed meeting was Jake Roberts and New Jack. And I met New Jack the first two times there. The first time I met him was down at the fair. Talked to him, and he was real cool. I mean, people think he's an asshole, but when you get to talk to him in person, he's actually not a bad person. As long as if he likes you, you're in good shape. If he thinks you're garbage, he won't talk to you. And I always said to him, I had real good conversations with him and stuff like that. It was in March, and it was in March of 2000 when I started helping him, and then 21 years later, like I said, I told him I wasn't trying to be, become a wrestler or anything. I just something I liked help doing. Which I didn't do anything spectacular. I just helped advertise, sold tickets, put up flyers. Like the people come in to get pay to get in. I worked a door. Then I went from doing security. Then I worked backstage. Then I did ring crew. Towards the end, that's when he told me, I started, doing what he was helping him do what he was doing. And like I said, I discussed this before, but I have to just go over because the biggest thing today was going to be about wrestling. Remember, it was in 2008. So you figure 8 years at helping him. And then, I've been around him for almost 13, 14 years until he passed away. Right when he got the Honky Tonk Man incident, once, I can still be bitter and hold a grudge, but back then I can understand. I mean, hey, someone shorted him $300. I mean, of course, I was a guinea pig that got targeted. Of course, me and my buddy took care of it because one of the pieces of garbage we had there pocketed the money and ran off with I think she was like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. And then the other one was his butt buddy. So he took off when we told him that he was done, and and then when we told him that he was done, 30 minutes later, I went left. But I remember sitting in his office because he had an office over in Blair. It was me, him, his dad, and a couple of people that was doing the wrestling. He all said, well, I knew he'd get burned out after a while because, that's a lot of, you got to make sure everything, your talent shows up. Your show's going to run, you're going to have a good show. You're going to have the money to cover everything and, make sure the crowd leaves happy. They don't leave disappointed. So if they leave, so they don't come back. You want them to leave happy and you can come back to see what's going to happen next time. And he told everybody, we was all sitting there, he goes, that he was going to quit doing it. He was going to store his ring. But it sat there for about a couple of years. And I asked him, I said, I waited a couple of months. Asked if he missed it. He said, no. He said he was less of a headache because it was causing him to have seizures. And I mentioned about doing it, and he said, well, he helped me. He, didn't give me money or anything. He just, he did help me one time I didn't want him to. But Yeah, I knew what he was talking about because that's it. When you're doing it by yourself. I mean, it's a lot of stress, you know. And then who they were supposed to bring in, and they had I forget what the following show was supposed to be, but um, after everybody left, I was getting I do get something to drink, and he said, "Oh, I'll ride you home." And before he left, him and his dad were sitting there, and they gave me a plaque, which is somewhere. I think it's up in my closet. I don't like to hang stuff on my wall, but it was a hall because they had a Hall of Fame thing, and I was kind of dumbfounded. I'm like, when they handed it to me, I'm like, well, I wasn't a wrestler, and they told me said he was glad that I helped him because it lasted longer. He said it lasted longer with me helping him than it did if he tried it. Two goofballs he had there. Uh, One of the goofballs I met over in Bridgeport, Ohio. It was at the Bridgeport Eagles. Um, my buddy before I met my buddy, he bought the promotion off of him, but they had it was pretty good. They didn't have a lot of people there. I mean, and then that's where I met the other goofball, but I didn't talk to him till later down the road. But when I met my buddy, it was called Steel Valley Wrestling. I mean, if you look it up on internet or on, just look up the name. I mean, it'll tell you, who's all been there and stuff like that. But like I said back then, it was fun to do. When I did it, he always laughed because all the wrestlers come in and did either demanded more money or didn't like where they were at on the card. And I said, "Well, you're not going." I said, "You agreed to this much. This is what you're going to get, and this is where you're going to be at." And I said, "If you don't like it," I said, "You can just don't even bother unpacking." But a lot of wrestlers said that it's good that I did that because they said if you give in to them, they're going to walk on you. I like nowadays. I mean, a lot of them, they come in, they do what they're supposed to. I mean, they give suggestions, and stuff like that. Some will do whatever you want, Other ones will just, But like I said, it was fun. I mean, like I said, I got two buddies that do it now. But their show is tomorrow will be July. It'll be about a month and a half, and I'm supposed to, like I said, Monday I'm not for sure because I'm supposed to go help them because they got with their show coming up. I'm going to go help them put out posters because my one buddy, I don't want him to have to get out, move around as much. He said he feels all right, but I don't want him to overdo it, so I told him I'd go. And after, I think it was in 2017, I didn't want to do it after I found out what I was dealing with from a fan, and I just said, "Screw this! I'm not doing this." And then I was just going to quit doing it all together. I was like, "God, hell with it." But then I met my two good friends, and I've been helping them out. It's fun. One's crazier than hell, and the other one's just comical. But they're good guys. Like I said, I don't mind helping them. Like I said, I just help put out posters. I'll sell some tickets for them, and like odds and ends. Because honestly, the one goofball that I knew said, "Oh, when they got their ring, they brought it back from Virginia. They said, can you go make sure that everything's there? What all goes to the ring?" I said, "Yeah." And we pulled up the ring was all the pieces for the ring was there. They had guardrails at the ass. I think they had like 20 some of them. They had a real nice entranceway. I mean, they had what a top indie promotion would have. And the first couple of shows, I mean, I could told him, I said, my one buddy said, he don't need help, and he knows what he's doing. I mean, some people it takes them a while, but some people, like I caught on real quick, and like my buddy, he caught on real quick. And the only reason why I like doing it is because he likes doing it. It's something he enjoys to do, and As long as I can help him, I'll help him out. Um, but yeah, I didn't think after 21 years, a lot of people around here, wrestling died off, then come back, died off, then come back. He had two promotions. One wouldn't pay his people, and the other one was canceling shows. So not for it not to die off completely for good. I started one of the shows. The one show that I only had to cancel two. One was because of the weather and the place where my buddies do their shows out. Their furnace broke. But I sent everybody the payments. They were just dumbfounded that I paid them. They said, well, we didn't get to come down. I was like, well, you were booked, and I always paid them. I calculated everything up what I needed. I had it's like one of the things. It's not like a fanny pack. It was like a money belt. I always put on and put my shirt over top of it, and that's what I carried the money in. But they always got paid. And the second time, which wasn't anybody's fault. The guy was coming down. His vehicle breaks down alongside the road. Well, they come down. They unhook the trailer from the back of his truck onto his other truck. Well, about 100 miles down the road, he's calling me again that his truck blew up. I mean, he said there was smoke and everything. And then the second show I did, my DJ, the referees didn't show up. The DJ didn't show up. I had, no music. So what I did is my one buddy, of course I haven't seen him for years, I gave him a referee shirt. He goes, what do you want me to do? I said, can you count to three? He goes, yeah. I said, then get in the ring. And he did. I mean, he did a really good job. And then I did ring announcing, which everybody complimented me after I did it. Said I did a really good job. And one of the guys that he was a big part of the wrestling when I was doing it. I said, man, we don't have no music. So they brought a boom box in. I don't think blaring music in a small building is necessary, but it worked out pretty good. I had one show I had 65 people. Then I had 75, and the last one I did I had like 100 and some. But then once I did, everybody, all these promotions started coming over, and I'm like, I don't have the time to sit there and battle with these people. My thing is, well, I wasn't trying to start up one. Because I told everybody when they come in, I said, I'm just doing this to keep it relevant over in this area. And I still have a lot of people compliment me. Said, if I didn't stick around and as long as I did, God knows how bad it would have been now. And I said, hey, I didn't do anything spectacular. I just tried to keep it relevant. I have people come up to me now. Like if I go to the store, I have people come up to me. They know me because of the wrestling and stuff like that. They always come up and they'll bring up shows that shows that they were at either that I either helped at or where was this there? Like I said, it was fun. I enjoy. I mean, I had I was in Walmart a while back ago, and I had one person come up to me, and the other guy, other person I know, him and his 90-year-old valet were in there, and one of the guys come up to me and talking about the wrestling, and he kept looking to see what was going on, and no one, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, but no one walked up to him, which I was kind of, shocked because I figured he wrestles around an area, which he's ripped people off and ripped up sponsors and stuff like that. And one of the guys, it was him, his wife, and his kids, and I think the grandmother. And before I left, the guy come up and told me, he goes, you're a legend. And I was just I was like shocked because he said that. I said, well, why do you say that? He said, to keep try to keep something going all that time. I never benefited from it. I never asked for a dime. Um, like when my buddy brought wrestlers in, I paid for him, so he wouldn't have to deal with it. He didn't like that a lot. He got mad at me a lot for doing that. But I told him I'd rather, do that. So, they got paid. Like the Coco Beware, the Coco Beware show. That was another one to come in. Him, I wasn't really, I didn't think he was like a mid carder or, I didn't think he was biggest of everybody made him. As well, I don't know. I mean, he made it into the WWE Hall of Fame, so he must have did something good. But like you said, wrestling today, you got WWE, NXT, AEW Dark. No, I got. Excuse me. I got 8 dinner before come on. I'm not going to have heartburn and indigestion. But and then you got I don't like to say Ring of Honor is still around. There's Impact. Of course you got New Japan. That SWE down around Texas. Which they got pretty good big names down there. I don't know, so about the MLB or MLW, and then then you got, like I said, there's a handful of indie shows around. I mean, I like to see it go back to what like it was when I first started doing it. I mean, you go in, you had 100 people. You always had a line out the door. You always knew there was all the seats were filled. There was never an empty seat there. Hell, there's times we ran out of chairs. We had to call the people that ran the facility to bring in bleachers just so we can open the garage doors for people who can sit and watch. I mean, back then we would go places and people would stop us and tell them how much they liked the show and stuff. But like I said, now A&E has biography on, they had one about Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was pretty good. Mick Foley, Booker T, all them. Then they had a WWE's most something treasures. I just watched the thing where Brutus Rubber Beefcake's shears. How much? I guess my buddy told me they were starting up the museum. I mean, these people go out there. I mean, there's collectors. When you think of collectors, you think of people who collect antiques, sports sports stuff. I can't say memorabilia. There we go, like jerseys, basketballs. All kind of stuff. Well, then you had the ones out there that collect wrestling stuff. One guy, especially, I guess he had the first. I think it was WrestleMania 3's ring in his in some kind of building because they couldn't verify that it was. I mean, I can get a 20-foot ring and said, "Oh, this was WrestleMania 17's ring." I mean, but yeah, there was like back then. There was only like 3 companies, and I mean, ECW did theirs in it. The most. Oh, it was horrible. There was no heat. You were covered in. I mean, you were just soaked in sweat. Bathroom stunk. There was holes in the wall. It was like just a rundown building, but I guess supposedly they fixed it up now. It was called. They called it the ECW Arena. Now I think it's called the 2300 Arena. But a friend of mine said when he was down in OVW, he said it was hot down there. There was no air. I mean, I don't know. If you're going to have a place like that, you want to make sure people come in, they can relax, not sweat to death or freeze to death. One or two. Someone asked me the other day how long did they think I'll be doing this. I said, no, I don't know. I said I might wake up one day and say, hey, like 4 years from now, I can say, well, I'm not trying to get like no awards or anything. It's something I like to do. I've had many people ask me to come down state and help, come down because they heard about up here. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't. One thing, I don't like traveling. I don't like to fly. So screw that. Anybody who says, "Hey, I'll fly up here," well, you might as well just forget it. Like the ones up in Maine wanted me to come up. Two nice people. One lady had a podcast, and then she did a podcast with her. They wanted me to come up. Oh, we'll fly you up. Or I'm like, nah. I said, sorry, I don't fly. That's one thing I won't do. But yeah, like I said, wrestling back then and wrestling today. I mean, ECW would have been around if he just. I think it was just financially they couldn't do it. I mean, it's pretty bad when your town's paying for you to do a show. I knew one person that did that. He was a scumbag, and so was the other one. Their town had to pay one guy to come in, and the 3 shows that they did, and the reason why they got to do it because, like I said, the other idiot, I don't associate with him no more. I paid for the guy to bring his ring in for him to come in because I knew they weren't going to pay him. They stiffed so many people, and the guy that I paid the book is we got his ring to bring his ring in and him to come in. I mean, I still talk to him occasionally. I mean, he checking to see how he's doing and and stuff like that. Which he's doing a lot better than he was. Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was 2 hot dogs and a handshakes. They, I think the biggest show they had, and it was because it was Dan the Beast Severn, and where I was coming from. Me and a girl I was dating at the time, we was coming back from Pittsburgh. I had a great suit on. I looked like a pimp. I wish I had that suit. I did. I put that thing in glass casing. It was silk. It was cool. So I'm in there and I walked up front, and then the one idiot's brothers were there. One was a drunk and thought he was a drunk. Oh, he was a drunk and thought he was a badass. The other one wasn't so bad. And I was sitting there, and the guy's 2 brothers, the brother that was working the show, come up, and he was kind of shocked to see me, and I told him, I said, well, how we seen it because we stopped at a gas station and I wanted to get cigarettes, and I'm like, oh shit, I said I didn't think they were still around. I went in and everyone come the scumbag that was doing it. I said, I hope to God you had the money for this, man. He goes, why? I said, he's gonna fucking beat both of you senseless. And I looked at the other idiot and I said, your brother thinks he's a badass. He's gonna find out what a badass is when you get the hell knocked out of him. But they paid him. And I told him the food they had there was horrible. Yeah, they did. I don't see how. The guy said he's been around for so long. If you run a show once a year or once every other year, you're not a promotion. You got to I mean, I now I can understand during a pandemic, but after this is over, you can't hold an excuse. I mean, the pandemic affected a lot of people. I got like my 2 buddies, the ones on her now. I mean, they're doing their show in August, and I think he's October. I got a couple of buddies that used to wrestle when my buddy did it. They used to come down here and wrestle. They do a show up in Pittsburgh, and they do 12 shows a year. Well, they're doing 12 shows in 6 months. They were at a bar, here and there. Yeah, the pandemic, like I said, it took a toll on a lot of people. And there's ones I feel bad for is wrestlers. I mean, this is their payday. They get booked on shows. One of the guys that comes in and wrestles is they are doing I think he's on another ship sometime pretty soon. I forget when the date is, but it's James Ellsworth's promotion, which someone asked me about. I thought that he'd go to AEW. I said it wouldn't hurt to just bring him in. I mean, WWE kept him. I mean, crying out loud, he got to run around with Carmella. I mean, shit, that's a payday in itself. When I met him, I said I was bullshitting with him. I said, "You got to be the luckiest person I've ever met in my life." He goes, "Why?" And he had a picture of Carmella, and I said it to her. I said, "You got to, I don't know, be like a manager or something." I said, probably one of the best looking women in WWE, and I said, "You got to hang out with her, travel the road with her." Now she's got married at Corey Graves, the man with like 9,000 tattoos all over his head and shit. Which I don't have a problem with tattoos, but when you have too many of them, that's a problem. But yeah, I talked to him, and he was a really nice guy. Like I said, the Rock and Roll Express they were really cool. That's the one I like. Shane Douglas, I've always been a Shane Douglas fan. I remember the Barbarian from WWF. Not a big Marty Jannetty fan. I watched a thing about him, and he always says he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Anyway, that man's going to get in the Hall of Fame if they can't induct, if everybody else in the world's inducted. I'm not a big fan of him. I've heard some of the stuff he's did at shows, and I bet you Shawn Michaels was real proud. Said that that was his tag team partner. Oh yeah, he wrestled in the NWA. Yeah, I forgot about that. I always forget about the NWA. I know that there's a lot of people who are not big Jim Cornette fans. I listened to a couple of his things, like the thing he did for New Jack, and the one about Grizzly Smith. Oh, that Grizzly Smith thing, that was just, when I seen that, it turned my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, what a sick, perverted person. Of course, there's someone downstate that's into that shit too, so I'm not going to mention his name. But yeah, a lot of people don't like him. They said because he uses, he's racist, and I guess he degrades women. I've never heard him do it, and I get a lot of shit because people say, I can't believe you listen to him. And then my other one that I know that I talk to all the time, I get shit because I know him. I'm like, you know what? None of them said anything to me, so then like Vince Russo. I mean, he talked to him. They're all pretty cool people, I don't know. People are just 90-some degrees outside. I just checked my thermometer before my thermostat before I come on. It was 80 degrees in here. Holy hell! It's like being at work. But you can't judge people. I mean, if you make a joke about something, there was one guy that, like the George Floyd thing, that posted it on social media and then got backlash from it, and then they had to quit doing it for a while. Said that was just a joke. Well, last year wasn't the time to do that. I mean, it's just people just make shit out of me how dumb they can be when they do stuff, Now, well, this time of the year doing shows, you be doing them outside because it's 7th of July when it's like the hottest month of the year. But yeah, from like April to I think end of September is the best time to start doing them. Doing out because a lot of people that's what they're doing now is just doing outside shows. Um, but you got to get now if you're putting on a show yourself, you're financing. You got to get go like to the wherever town you're doing it to their city building to get zoning laws and all that shit. Now if you get someone that's going to pay you to do it, then you're set. Yeah, well, yeah, as long as it don't rain. Yeah, that's true. Actually, and you'll know what I'm talking about, Keith, when I mention this. I've actually been looking at. They have like they're kind of like tents, like the way they do, like what you see when you go to like the Walmart or Kroger's or some like little firework tents, something like that. I've been actually looking at them to see how much it costs to rent it for the day, or they'll come and set it up for you and they'll tear it down. Just in case, or something a little bit higher where it's not going to be down on the. That's one thing I've been looking at. I look at doing is there's these ones, they're like canopies, but they have them where so it'll cover the ring, and then the ring won't get so hot because it'll be in the shade. But if you do it towards the evening, I think you'd be better off. I think anything during the daytime or the afternoon that's when it gets hot. And August is the one time of the year that it gets hot. So yeah, I've been looking at it to see how much it costs. Just to rent one for a day, just to see how it is. They have one thing down there, down in Glendale. It's a big. It looks like a big green tent, like a carport. And I don't know if you can rent it or buy it, but I mean you can probably put like freaking like 30 people in that thing, and have more room to move around. But yeah, it would. I mean, this is the best time to do it as long as it don't rain. Like the other day, I mean, when it rained, it didn't just rain. It downpoured. Down by the Goodwill shopping plaza, the water was up to their ankles. The Kroger's parking lot, it was underwater. I mean, a lot of places, like a handful of the streets, like where my the kid's grandpa, didn't call him my ex-father-in-law. The kid's grandpa, I always called him Pat. But where he lived at, I mean, it come up past the sidewalk down there. Then if you're out there, you got to make sure it's not too hot. When it's like 100 degrees and everybody's freaking passing out and shit. But yeah, that'd be the good time to do it. Actually, Keith, if you're still watching, there's I don't know where these people are still around. They have some kind of like what the hell is it they call it? Where they have games and music and stuff like that. Well, it's down here at the riverfront, which is in Moundsville. The waterfront's in Wheeling. They have a big till down there, and I ran into one of the guys the other day, and I asked him if he still does it, and he said they're going to start doing it again pretty soon. And he said, "Why?" That's why I have a couple buddies, that do wrestling, and they were all interested in what I still have Willie's business card, and I gave it to him, and he's on the guy's on Facebook, so I gave him the Facebook page, the wrestling page. Well, getting on the fair, he asked me if I ever talked to people at the fair. That is a process. That's like a mountain of paperwork to do to get on there. And God, I remember doing one down there, and they had a wrestling show and cow shit. You had people sitting there, it was in an auction building across the road from where they usually did it. At least the other one that you can close the doors, you didn't have to smell everything. But during that show, I was sitting back there laughing. And my buddy said, "What?" I said, "Man, nothing like doing a wrestling show, smelling cow shit and hearing pigs squeal. That's when the guys from Pittsburgh used to come down. One of the girls was a valet. We was back here. We set up it was wasn't a half-ass setup thing, but it was enough where they can get changed into. And I'm like, she's sitting there. I'm like, oh shit. And he said, what? So I had to go. I got a tarp from the people so where she can change and shape. But it was pretty good. That's the first time I took my middle one with me to a show. My youngest wasn't even around at that time. She wasn't even born. I forgot, because my son went with me to all the shows. And took my daughter, sat up in the bleachers. She had this Barbie doll. And this thing it was all beat to hell because she'd chew on it and like it was nuts. I look up at her, she's eating nachos, and then she eats baby powder, stands up, starts spinning in a circle, going to the crowd of people with her Barbie doll, and threw up everywhere. Needless to say, I didn't take her to a show after that for a long time, until I worked up in Bend when I brought one of the girls to go with me. I don't even know what you mean by that, but the festivals are pretty good, like the Italian festival. They have a Greek festival, but your one comment, I don't even know what you're talking about. So, but and I think it'd be a good time. And I notice my microphone's a lot better now. I don't crackle. Let's see how long I've been on here for. Better another 8 minutes. I'll be on here for an hour. That's all right. Try to sit. I'm here by myself, I like to. When the kids are here, I can't stay on very long because you got they running in and out. But yeah, the festivals are pretty good. Like state fairs down in Tyler County. It's for the town and country days. They used to have them down there. I don't know if they still do, but. A friend of mine that this past week, we used to go down there all the time. He'd load up in his, I think it was a Blazer or some shit, like one of them Jeeps, and we go down for the day, watch races and shit like that. And he looked like one of the people like on A&E, the Mountain Men. He had a big old friggin' beard. He was a good guy. If I needed to go somewhere, if I needed help with something, he was always the first one there. Like when I bought that ring, he even hauled it back over here for me, stored it in his garage. But yeah, like a town, like I said, town and country days is pretty good. Like I said, the fairs up here. Well, there was actually like 2 promotions that actually got in after my buddy did it, and they kind of ruined it. So I don't know if you can do them down there. The Armory, one of the National Guard guys said, they're looking for people to rent that, But I told him, I said, well, that I think it's like $80, $80 or $100 to rent it. But you got about $8 for the electricity you use. I think that's what it still is. $8 or $10, he told me. I said, well, that's a good idea, but what if that day of the show something happens and you're telling them, oh, you can't do it? I mean, you're going to lose that money because you can't reimburse anybody. So that's kind of like a hit or miss thing, I was watching a video where it was in some state, they were doing it out in some kind of field. It's not that CZW. That shit is just stupid. I watched a thing about them, and that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, they did it. There was some kind of field. I mean, they had a bunch of people there. It was enough. I mean, they had everything set up. Well, basically, what it'll look like if you did an out. If you want to do it, that's like the one I can do one over here. There's a big field over here. I can do that, but can't make it look all fancy. You can just you know, make it look presentable. Yeah, actually, I get what you're talking about. Well, we are in West Virginia. You either hear a pig squeal or smell shit anywhere, no matter where you go to. This is West Virginia. Most poorliest run state in the country. It's just horrible. You got the highest thing for like drugs down here, like opium and heroin. That time you're even embarrassed to tell people where you're from. Like I said, the reason why I come on earlier today because it said TNA's on tonight. I don't, like I said, I don't know if we're moving. Keith, you could probably tell me this one. Are they moving AEW back to Wednesdays? I try not to do them like when there's like a basketball playoffs, baseball games, NHL playoffs, or shit like that. Oh, thanks. Okay, yeah, they're going back to Wednesdays. Okay, I seen a commercial when I was at work. By the way, if we're still good for next Monday, just let me know. For anybody else that's watching this, because I didn't know this till YouTube messaged me, and you can watch. They said they post these for people who can watch them. I did not know. Okay, good. Well, hopefully we won't have an episode like an incident like we did last time. That was go over and discuss business, and we have someone on the phone. It took me 4 years to get used to him. I mean, he's a good guy. He just, I can't say he's crazy. He's insane. He's just unique. But hopefully we can talk about stuff. And last time was just. Trying not to laugh, but yeah, the show's the 7th, August 5th is what you guys should be like. Yeah, it's just 4 years or 5. $4 years. Okay, I thought so. Well, I knew you guys longer than that, like 4.5 years. When I first met you two, he's the one that started shit out of me. I hardly talked to him. You talked to me more than he did. And I kept thinking, oh, the guy in the driver's seat looks like he's a goddamn serial killer. And I told him that later down the road, and he laughed about it. But yeah, I'm gonna as it stands right now for the August 7th show, it's the three of us coming, unless the one that you torture all the time, unless she makes plans with her friend or some shit. But the other one will be there. Hopefully by then, Anthony, he went and applied at my son applied at McDonald's. So I messaged the manager on Facebook and said, "Hey, my kid put his application in." I said, "Can you please give him a job?" So, he wasn't really too mad about going down there because two of his buddies work down there. So I told him, I said, "You got to start up somewhere. They're not going to hire you as soon as you come out." I mean, that's like me going to put a job in as like I said for NASA. Never been an astronaut, but I want to work at NASA. But so I told him, I said he'll get in and work out for him. I think what did my mom dropped him off. I think it's morning. It's in midships. On the weekends, he'll probably, if he works weekends, he'll get night shifts. Because well, he got mad because of this girl that I've been talking to. Uh, um, I want to bring her to the show, but I don't know. I don't want to subject her to that madness. But I got her a job at Big Lodge. She come down, take and get her phone to work. It was on her lunch break, fucking hotter than hell outside. I said, "What the hell is going on?" And she just got out of hospital. She's got like something, something like to do with her heart. They just, they give her medicine and stuff. Uh, so I helped her out. I got her a job and stuff like that. And we hang out all the time. She'll come up to work and hang out with me. Oh my God, she came in one day when uh, Sue was there, and I told him, I said when she walks, I said she comes in and said, don't look right into her eyes. He goes, why? I said, you'll not understand when she comes in, and I'll give him credit. He was polite. I've been around him for a long time, so I know how he is. And he was real polite. And then I bought him a drink before he left because it was hot outside, and I didn't want him, get overheated. And, she's pretty well endowed, and I was like, he behaved himself, which I was, he was supposed to come up with work yesterday, but I texted him and told him it was still hot. I didn't want him walking in the heat. Actually, no, I didn't. I played the machines once and won $500. I put $5 in, but I've been I got to think for my life insurance and stuff like that. I've been buying the stuff that's necessary that I need. That's going to be, not that it's just going to sit in a corner and of course, I had Easter. I spent from my three, my nieces 3, and my other nieces 2, and then like for then for Hannah's birthday, then Isabella's, then Anthony's graduation. I paid for his stuff. I didn't want to be a dick, say no, I'm not gonna get it for you, So I got into his stuff, and then like I said, Isabella's birthday. Then I was help my nieces out. I mean, at least I used it for and then I still got a good bit left. But one thing I got to do is go to Morgantown, get they're going to have to realign my dog because I was over in Belair. I was coming up, I think it was called Washington Road, and an old guy hit me. I didn't see me, hit me and threw me off the bike. I dislocated my jaw, but I popped it back into place, which I shouldn't have did that. And now they're going to have to knock me out, pull the bottom teeth out. So basically, I'm going to have to get dentures or something. I'm going to get partials. I'll take them out, scare little kids with them. My other kids' grandpa used to do that. But they're going to have to realign it. And I think they said for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I can talk. I said, well, that's what I'm going to, they say you can still talk. I said, well, like I said, well, Keith, I usually, I text you and stuff. But yeah, I watch all these people just shove their money in the machines like that. I'm like, wow. Then I played twice, but the other one was I was waiting for someone to come pick me up. I was down or the one down by 84 number was. As I was talking to one of the ladies worked down there, I knew her, and I didn't want to sit out there on them stools because if you sit out there, you got to and I didn't want to sit outside because all the riprats from the highway. You come in. I had I had more money on me, but I was like, oh, well, I'm sitting away from all right, I'll put $5 in. Well, I walked out with $300 and some, so I put that back into but yeah, that's like I said, that's anything other than what I did spend, and that's all I got to get done, and then I'm gonna get new glasses. But I don't think people want to hear about my personal issues. Oh, and another thing that I was watching, that's what I was quieter for a minute, was watching is I can't if I can remember what the hell it's kind of like Dark Side of the Ring, and that a biography or whatever the hell that thing was on Amy, where they talk about the old territory days, like with the down in Texas, USWA, that Sportatorium, and they talk about stuff like that. And the old buildings, they brought up like the Sportatorium down in Memphis. Up like up in Philadelphia and stuff like the old arena, like all places that were well, there used to be shows that. Well, I guess from that, people said that I guess the Sportatorium, I guess while you were watching the show, there was rats running around, not ring rats, actual rats running around. And yeah, like I said, Keith, if you get I don't know if you've seen it, if you get a chance, I mean, it's actually pretty good. It's like it says 101, 101. Well, yeah, 101 why not to be a professional wrestler. And I mean, these guys, like I said, they still wrestle. They do like I think a lot of them. They do conventions and comic book shows. The last one they had in Pittsburgh, Sergeant Slaughter was up there. They added him. I met him up in Wheeling. He's actually a pretty nice guy. That's when he was up there at the other thing. I didn't get an autograph. I was just talking to him because I was watching the game. But they were real nice. But Rikishi was up there. They're having another one in August. I think it's like the middle of August. They added a couple people on there. That guy that played Freddy Krueger, but Robert Englund, whatever his name was, and he's going to be up here. But that's where a lot of them they go. They still get around and stuff. They do conventions and signings and stuff like that. So I like to do one up here, but you would have to get ones not like for real cheap that weren't really a big name. They were on TV, but like when they weren't really a big name. Yeah, just have something like that. But that way, like everybody talks about Virgil, someone like him. I mean, he wasn't a big name, but yeah, he was in the NWO. I thought, what to do? I think that'd be a good thing, to do around here. I actually thought about doing it a couple of times. My buddy used to. It was called it was like a paranormal con, whatever. I forget what it was called. And he wanted me to bring someone in. And I got a hold of a lot of people, but everybody was booked. So I got a hold of Tommy Gibson and brought him in. And you wouldn't think that him being a big was like a real big name. I mean, it worked out. I had it. Oh God, it was harder than sitting under the girl that it was working with me with the wrestling. She helped me out. we were sweating our asses off. But that place never has an air, and now they shut it down. They're gonna. Well, thank God they did close it down because they got a bunch of. I think it's asbestos and mold and all kinds of shit in it. But now I'm just rambling. But yeah, like I said, back to the wrestling. Like I said, that's why I come on today a little bit earlier. I don't pass out. I'm sweating all I'm sitting still. But yeah, that's why I wanted to come on today before NXT comes on, which I probably won't watch it. I don't know now with Samoa Joe being here. I might watch it just to see how he does. Tomorrow I'll be on. Like I said, I'll be on early before AEW comes on. Let's see how long I've been on here for. Yeah, I'll be on here for like another 5 minutes because I've been on here for an hour. But yeah, so I'll be on tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow I'll let everybody know when the next one is. But Monday, I don't know. I might just, anyway, I can actually interview him if I take my laptop and everything with me and go over to his house. But I'll probably wait for the show to do that. But yeah, like I said, if you get if you like to surf the YouTube, I mean, they got a lot of good stuff on there. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of the Dark Side of the Ring. But yeah, yeah. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Tomorrow, it'll probably be after 4. Like today, I got to come on a little bit earlier than I was wanting to. But it's like 10 minutes to 6. So yeah, I come on about a little bit after 4. So until tomorrow, as I've been on here for an hour and 13 minutes, I'll be on tomorrow. What I'll do is I'll watch NXT and then we'll talk. I'll just have a topic. Whatever will be the topic tomorrow. We'll just do the thoughts of about how the show was. Yeah, but other than that, I like the Facebook things. I'm not like I link the YouTube to my Facebook page, because a lot of people don't know that I do these, but so like I said, until tomorrow, it'll probably be after 4. Like I said, tomorrow's thing will be about there'll be like a recap of NXT. I just gotta remind myself to sit there and watch it so I don't forget. But yeah, till tomorrow, like I said, after 4 o'clock, I'll be back on. So, and Keith, I will talk to you later. And for everybody else who's watching, I will talk to you tomorrow.